God's morning, guys. Welcome to Reeds Being Refined by the Fires. Today, I'd like to apologize for not getting the recording of Pooh up. We re-recorded it yesterday, but for some reason, the recording device that I used didn't work out. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to reschedule and get her interview redone. She's gonna try to have to work it out in her work schedule, so I have to see when she's available and if she can do it, if she's willing, because this will be the third time. But the third time's a charm. At least that's always been for me. 3 times. Yep. So instead of that video today, I'll talk more about my childhood. That way her video will be posted possibly next week, and then I have a surprise guest that's going to be at the end of this month, somebody from Life Songs that will it'll be a fun interview that I'm going to have with him. And he's going to pray us into the new year. So, y'all can look forward to that. So anyway, let me finish about my childhood. I had a pony at my grandparents' house, my dad's house. My dad's family lived in Acres Home, or Acre Shakers. And they had a nice amount of property on Mansfield Street in Acres Home. And it was like a little farm. I love to go over there. It was like so fun. I had a pony. They had horses. And I'm not sure whether it was just my pony. I'm sure it wasn't, because Dad has several sisters and brothers. And that everybody had kids. Well, just about everybody. But they probably told every child that was over there at that time that it was their pony. So, but just the idea that I had a pony, when most kids say they want ponies, I actually had a pony. I did. And I had fun. They had cows, chickens, ducks, because they had a little pond in the middle of the yard. And my grandmother had a candy store. She was an entrepreneur to her heart. She had a thrift shop and a little candy store. And I used to love going to the candy store and getting my treats. And then come home with a little bag of treats. And I'd have to share them with my brother. But, so good. But, also, when I got into school, my first memory, my personal introduction was our teacher asked us to introduce ourselves. And me not knowing any better, I knew I was called Riri, and I knew my real name was Renesia Yvette Bims. But when I stood up, I said my name was Riri Renesia Yvette Bims. And my teacher told me, no, babe, your name is Renesia. Your name is Renesia Bims. And I felt foolish because I hadn't been taught that my name was just Renesia Bims. I mean, I taught my kid from that experience. That's why some of the stuff that I learned, I taught my kids. So when they went to school, they didn't make the same mistake that I did and say their nickname and their whole name. Their nickname, first name, middle name, and last name. But when you don't know any better and somebody asks you to stand up and introduce yourself, you do just that. And I know my name was Riri Renesia Yvette Bims. So I got up and I said, my name is Riri Renesia Yvette Bims. When all she wanted me to say was my first and last name. She didn't say that. She said, get up and introduce yourself. Her name was Miss, started with a W. think of the name. Whistle Land. And it was a hyphen, it was a compound word. Whistle, like, I can't whistle. Like you whistle, and land. But it was put together, Whistle Land. And I remember she was real tall and had long blonde hair and long legs. And at that time, mini dresses were in style. So she'd wear her mini dresses. And I'm sure I was little, so of course she looked tall to me, but that's what I remember, Miss Whistleland. She asked me to introduce myself, and that was my first public introduction of myself. I'm Riri Renicia Yvette Bims, because no one told me otherwise. And she asked me to introduce myself, and I did just that. So, another experience that is very memorable, that in 3rd grade, I remember I was so proud of myself because boys was considered to be better artists than girls. But Miss Starkey, I won for the best turkey. It was coming up to be Thanksgiving, and I won for the best turkey drawing in our class. And she had we had doors in the back, closets in the back where we put our coats and our backpacks and stuff. And she do our artwork or whatever we were working on, and it was prominently displayed on the back lockers. So that was a poppy collar moment. Like, yeah, boys, who the best now? I'm a girl. Girl power. And also in that class, I had several other things that happened. I remember I sprung my wrist. How do you sprain your wrist? We were outside playing I think kickball. We used to play kickball. And I've never been very good at sports. Never. But well, I can't say that because I was a great skater. Going to Rainbow Roller Rink in my middle school days. Y'all hear about that later. But playing ball just was not my thing. And I was going to catch the ball, and my wrist went too far back. So I sprung my wrist, so I had to come back to school with a ace bandage on my wrist for a while till it got better. That just goes to show I was not athletic at all as a kid. But, and another thing in 3rd grade, Miss Starkey's class. I had a lot of experiences in Miss Starkey's class. That's when the bullying started. This little boy, I don't know whether he had a crush on me or what, but he didn't know how to express his like for me in a positive way. So he came off as aggressive, and he used to make my life a living hell. That was the beginning of the bullying up until 5th grade, when I finally got my revenge on my bully that took me into my high school years. So, but I was afraid. I had a fear of snakes. I used to have nightmares that snakes were chasing me down the street in my grandmother's neighborhood. And you may ask, how were they chasing you? They had legs. They had little legs, but it was like they were really fast. And they were chasing me. Big snakes. And I'd wake up sometimes in the middle of the night just screaming, and because I would open my eyes, and it'd be like snakes were just all over the room. They were falling from the ceiling, and I would just be screaming like, help! You know, Mama would come running in there, and I'm like, you don't see them? And she's like, see what? And I was like, snakes! They all over the place. And she'd be like, no, Ree, you must be dreaming. And I'm like, I used to have bad nightmares and now I don't even dream. I don't dream at all. I've been praying that God bring dreaming back to me, because good dreams though. Because I believe dreams are linked to your future. I don't know about bad dreams, but good dreams, because I've dreamed some good stuff before that actually came true. But like I said, I don't really dream anymore, and I've been praying that God bring back dreams to my life, but so far I haven't. But also, so and while I was being bullied, it was snake. We were working on it was science, so we had our science books open, and we were working on reptiles. And personally, I never had a fear of snakes, but my mom had a deathly fear. She had a great fear of snakes, and I think I took that upon myself, and knowing that how scared of snakes she was. So I was like, that's something that I need to be scared of too. Not. So I became afraid of snakes, and while we were working on while we were on the assignment, that I don't think the teacher was in the room, Miss Starkey. I don't think she was in the room, but some of the other kids knew that I had a fear of snakes too, and they used that. They made me sit there and look at the snakes on the page in the book, and I just remember they were laughing and just like, yeah, she's afraid of snakes. She's afraid of snakes. I can't believe she's afraid of snakes. And I'm just like, and even my best friend, who I met in kindergarten, didn't stand up for me. Now looking back, that's really hurtful, because friends shouldn't do each other like that. I feel like she should have stood up for me, and that makes me question our friendship now looking back. And actually, I've had a lot of them moments now looking back. Hindsight is a mother. Sometimes looking back, hindsight, you see stuff that I shouldn't have did that, or I should have did that another way. But it's good, because my hindsight, I'm using this experience as if we should have been friends at all. Because I remember calling her some nights, and it'd take her a while to get on the phone. She had a lot of brothers and sisters, but still. And then she had a lot of responsibilities, and she wasn't able to talk on the phone all the time. But it was like, if you didn't want to be my friend, why didn't you just say you didn't want to be my friend? But I hung on to that for years. We even had a business together, a balloon business, artistic balloon creations. And even though I let it go and we dissolved that business, she's still doing balloons to this day. Yeah, she decorates for special events. But when we had the business, we had a full shop, we had a van, but we let it go because we weren't making it. It wasn't profitable after a while, and she couldn't afford to continue working and not making any money. But we had big jobs, and we did make money, but it was like, it wasn't enough. So, but now looking back, it's like, wow, but experience teaches you stuff. Now I know not to tolerate people who tolerate me. And I don't know if that was her intention, but I feel like a lot of times she tolerated me. And we were friends all the way through high school. Then I had my little adventure in San Antonio. But when I came back, because she was even at my baby's first birthday party. Yeah. So, and we were good friends. That's how we end up going into business together. But like I say, hindsight is a mother. So you have to be careful, because friends don't just tolerate you. Friends love you. Friends will be there for you. Friends take up for you. They don't allow you to be bullied. And in 3rd grade, I don't know why she didn't stand up for me. I mean, I wasn't a loner. I had friends in class, but it was like she was supposed to be my best friend. How do you sit there and watch her and laugh? Laugh at my fear. That hurt even more. I shouldn't have been her friend after that. But you live and learn. Now, I'm a different person. I won't tolerate that at all. You cut off immediately. No more going back. I was too nice. Naive. Because in kindergarten also there was this little girl who, it was, you had to sign your kids up to sell candy. And my mom signed me up. So on a day the candy was issued to everybody whose parents had signed up and said they'd be responsible for it. Because I think it was like a box of 30. And world's famous chocolate bars, which I've always loved chocolate. But this little girl had talked me out of one of my bars, and she said she did the Popeye thing, the Wimpy on Popeye. If you give me a burger today, I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday. But she said she'd bring the money tomorrow, and it was only $1. So I was like, okay, all right. Me being naive, I should have said, no, we'll wait till I'll bring your bar tomorrow when you have your $1. I didn't do that. I was so desperate for friends. And my desperation got me taken advantage of one too many times. Because when I got home with my box of candy that my mom had said she'd be responsible for, my mom did something that I wasn't expecting her to do. She wanted to make sure how many bars I had. So she asked me to take all the bars up. We had a long hallway. She had me to take out all the bars and to count them. I knew I was missing a bar, but I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want to be in trouble. So I laid the bars out and I was trying to count. And when I got close to 30, I missed the bar and I was like, and 30. And she was like, she was counting too. I didn't, unbeknownst to me. But who lets their kid count to 30 by themselves? So she was counting as I was counting. And she could tell that it wasn't 30 bars. So she said, count them again. So I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on and on. And she was like, it's not 30 bars, Reed. It's 29. Where's the 30? The 30 bar. Did you eat it? And I was like, no ma'am. And she was like, well, you missing a bar. I need to call I need to get to the school or get to school. I need to, cause at that time we walked to school because we didn't live far from the school. So her and my little brother walked me to school every day. But that was a lesson learned. That little girl, we finished kindergarten. And did I get my $1? Nope. Naive. And shame on her for taking advantage of me. because I honestly wanted to believe that she was going to bring me the dollar the next day. I got in trouble for that. My mom was pissed because we had to cover her dollar that she ate the bar. I didn't even get to eat the candy. It'd be different if I had ate the candy. Whew, memories. So, people, talk to your children. It's not cute for your child to hustle another kid out of their candy and out of anything. It's not cute to be a hustler. And that may not have been her intention, but obviously her parents didn't sign up to be responsible for her to sell candy, so that's why she didn't have her own in the first place. Did I know that as a child? No. Not as a grown person, I realized that. Hindsight is a mother. But won't happen no more. I'll be like, okay, I'll give it to you, but I need the money first. It depends on the situation. She was my classmate, so I thought I could trust her. Obviously, I made a mistake. So, but, anyway, that was the launch pad. I don't even remember about 4th grade, but my bullying started in 5th and 3rd grade and elevated until the 5th. And I finally got revenge on my bully, because I'm not gonna mention no names, but you know who you are if you see this video. You made me feel horrible. I already had a lack of confidence. I was shy, did talk a lot, and you took advantage of that. And I don't appreciate it. This is 55-year-old Renesia Beams talking to my bully, my 5th grade bully in Mr. Flournoy class. He had a compound name too, Flower Noy. Noy is not a word, but his name was Mr. Flournoy. And that's how you spelled it, Flower Noy. But not cool. But I was getting ready to start my cycle, and unbeknownst to me, that's why my stomach was cramping. I wasn't feeling good, and it was towards the end of the school year. So I remember he was up there sharpening pencils, and not just getting a lead on it. He had to try to get the longest lead he could, just up there sharpening. And not one pencil, he had a handful of pencils. So he was up there just talking. Beans, that he used to call me and my little brother Beans. And I was like, that's not my name. My name is Beams. So he just up there sharpening. Yeah, Bean. And the other kids was just laughing. They just thought that was so funny. Renesia Beans. No, my name is Beams, not Beans. Get it right. So he was up there just sharpening pencils. And I bum rushed him. It was like I had it up to here. Couldn't take no more. My name is Renesia Beams. So me being premenstrual, if that's a word, I bum rushed him. And what he do? He ran out of the class, and because I had ran up there and I grabbed the pencil, and I had intentions on stabbing him. He looked up because he got away, and the teacher, Mr. Flournoy, just happened to be walking back into the class when that happened. When I ran, because I ran into him, and he called me. He's like, Renesia, what's wrong? And I was really quiet. So he knew my bully was getting ready to get revenge on. I had every intention on stabbing him with his own pencils. And I was sweet, a nice kid. nice, quiet, and I think that's why I was bullied, because people didn't take me serious. I didn't speak up for myself, and a kid shouldn't have to speak up for themselves. But you know what? Children are, to say they're the smallest, children come here aggressive and mean. You ever had a newborn that's hungry? Mean. Don't want to hear anything you gotta say. Don't want to, until they get that milk, whether it's formula or breast milk, they ain't hearing it. And that goes up through their lives. But the key is raise your kids, parents. Raise your children. My oldest daughter was never bullied, but my son was, because of his looks. He was a nice looking little boy. See, he's a nice looking man. But he was bullied because he didn't look like other little boys. Do you know how that makes a person feel? Even the person who's really confident, that nips at their confidence. And a person who's not confident, which my son was really battling with his confidence at the time. And he had to end up fighting for himself in order to get some respect. He had a fight in middle school that allowed him to go the rest of his school years being treated the way he should have been. My oldest daughter, her and her little clique of kids in middle school, they were bullying a girl. Her mom got in touch with me and said that my daughter was the ringleader of the bullies. And I shut that shit down. Having been bullied myself, I didn't want anybody else to be bullied. And I was ashamed that I had raised a child that was being the leader of a group of bullies. I didn't want that. I didn't want that for my children. They weren't raised like that. They were raised in a 2-parent household, hardworking parents who poured into them, gave them everything they needed, everything they wanted. And for them to go to school and bully somebody else because of the way she dressed, because she didn't dress as nice as they did, they were not raised like that. Not raised at all. I tried to bully somebody in myself when I was in 6th grade. It was a girl from, I think, Hawaii. Her name was Venetia. And I tried to bully her. It didn't even feel right. And she stood up for herself because and that's what she should have did. So I backed off. But that wasn't in my personality. I was doing something that I saw other people doing. I was trying to be something else that I wasn't. In my heart, I wasn't a bully. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So, but needless to say, I got my revenge on the bully just like my son did. And who ended up getting suspended? He did. And if that's not enough revenge, I don't know what else to say. And the rest of my reputation went all the way through middle school and high school with me. So I had no more bullying from that point. But it's a shame that I had to be bullied from 3rd grade up to 5th grade. So parents, raise your kids. It's not cute that they pick on somebody that they think is weaker or somebody that's different because they don't dress like them, or that they not wearing the latest Jordans or whatever is out at that time. It's not cool. Raise your children. Talk to them. That's what I used to do. Talk to them. Just like you could talk to your friends, talk to your children. They came out of your coochie. Talk to them. If you can't talk to them, who gonna talk to them? If you don't talk to them, somebody else will. Let them do something illegal. They'll be locked up, and you'll be crying and whining about my poor baby. No, I haven't seen that too much. And I'm thinking, that was the path that they were set on. If they had been raised right at home, it wouldn't happen. Because after I shut my daughter down from being a bully, no ma'am, we're not gonna bully. We're not gonna bully. I don't care if she don't dress like you do or your little crew. No, we don't bully in this house. We don't. I was embarrassed when that mom called me and told me that my daughter was one of the kids in the group that was bullying her. You know how that makes a parent feel? She trying to raise you right, and you going out at school doing something that is totally against the way you were raised. Parents, raise your kids right. It's not cool to bully somebody else because your kid think they're more popular than them, or dress better than them, or have their hairstyle better than them. People are different. Finances are different. The world is not made up of one type of people. People come in all shades, sizes, colors, everything. We speak different languages. Nobody's the same. God likes variety. It takes all to make up the humankind. Not just one kind. Life would be boring if all people were the same. We are not the same. On purpose. God is a purpose for God. Do you know how boring it would be if everybody was the same? You ever seen a movie that all neighborhood, all the houses look the same? Exactly the same. Cookie cutter. It's like, that's so sterile. That would be boring after a while. Who wants everybody to be the same? You want to be unique. God made everybody unique. Even as many people as he's made, our fingerprints aren't even the same. Identical twins don't have the same that's one thing that separates them. They don't even have the same. They may look the same on the outside, but their fingerprints are different. So, parents, this is food for thought. So chew on this for a while and think about it. Think about it, because they have kids now killing themselves over being bullied. Social media is horrible. It's good on one side, but then bullies use it as a weapon. Because they don't have to do it in person. They could bully online. Send out little nasty messages, and after a while, that chips at a child. I've never lost a child to being bullied, but there are people who have lost children over bullying. And it doesn't feel good to be bullied. My parents didn't know that I was bullied until after the 5th grade incident, when my bully finally came to a rise, and both of us had to go to the office. Both our parents were called in, and my parents, they didn't even know, because I would often talk about, this boy is picking me, and my mom was just like, well, boys gonna be boys. But she didn't realize how deep it was. So things work out for the best of those who love God. I've always gone to church, especially when I was a little kid. I fell off a little in high school, but like I say, I was in church before I came to be. Before I came to be Reed. Yeah. So that was my middle school years, and we got some great news at the end of our 5th grade year. We went on a camp trip that day. That was our first time going to an official Camp Cullen. Was the Cullen all the school's 5th graders went to, and we had a ball. I got to ride a horse again, and I had never did archery, shooting bows and arrows. That was fun. We went fishing, we went swimming, and at that time I didn't know how to swim. I wasn't a good swimmer, but I just loved being in the water. But and then we were told that our class was chosen. The school district was changing it and making it to where 6th grade, from 6th to 8th grade, would be intermediate schools, our middle school. So we would be going to a different school after we graduated in 5th grade. And we go to MC Williams was the school we was on to go to, according to where we lived. And we would be bused to MC Williams because we lived in Studewood area. That's where the elementary school was, Charlotte B. Allen Elementary. But MC Williams was in Acres Home, so we'd have to ride a bus, take the bus there and back. So that's what we did. So we were so excited because we were going to the big kid school and got to ride the school buses as opposed to walking to school or having your parents drop you off. We walked. My mom and my little brother walked me to school every day. And then when my brother got into school, my mom had started working. So they paid for us to have transportation to and from school. So, yeah. And then we go to nursery afterwards. Yeah. But, that's my younger years. Yep. Well, you guys have a blessed day, and let me pray us out. Dear Father, I thank you for today. I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the audience that is tuning in, and for the people who will come across this video years later. Thank you for my being able to get to tell my story up until middle school. I finished the elementary school years, my younger years, and I look forward to retaping Roslayn's video again. Give me what I need to use the I don't know I don't remember what program I used to get Keisha's interview up on online, but I pray that you'll give me what I need to get her interview as well as the interview that I have after her, and for every interview after. So these are my prayers through Jesus Christ my Lord. Amen. Amen. Thank you guys. Bye. Have a good one.